So there was yet another Islamist terror attack on German soil, European soil, the Western soil this weekend. I didn't jump on this story straight away because with stories like this, it does take time for the facts to become clear. You can assume something, but you don't want to make yourself look like an ass. This is why I've delayed. So I'm going to read the story now. A man suspected of carrying out what authorities say was a likely Islamist terrorist attack at Berlin Pride has been shot and killed by police. Officers opened fire when Abdul Borlaus, a 21-year-old German citizen with Lebanese heritage, so a Lebanese man, rushed at them with a knife in Spandau, a western borough of Berlin. It brought to an end a massive manhunt that was launched after a white van was driven into a crowd of people near Tiergarten Park just before 2200 hours on Saturday evening, killing one woman and injuring at least 29 others. Police say following the ramming, several people were injured in a stabbing attack. Then we move on. Speaking to reporters on Sunday, German Interior Minister Alexander Dobrindt said evidence was pointing it to be a Islamist terror attack. We are dealing with a suspected perpetrator who previously drawn attention of himself and high volume of criminal offences, radicalisation, and affiliation with the Islamist scene, Dobrindt said. A statement released by the Berlin Public Prosecutor's Office revealed further details regarding Borlaug's criminal history. And then we finish with, in May 2025, prosecutors said he travelled via Turkey to Lebanon with the intention of joining ISIS in Syria. While in Lebanon, he allegedly made contact with individuals he believed were members of IS. He was arrested in Lebanon in July 25 and sentenced to 3 months in prison for incitement to religious and sectarian conflict. Then in November 25, he returned to Germany where he was arrested at the Berlin-Brandenburg airport and held in a pre-trial detention. In May this year, he was sentenced to a year and a half in prison, a year 10 months in prison, preparing for serious acts of violence and endangering the state. The decision was deferred for 6 months and he was placed under the supervision of a parole officer. He was previously convicted of assault and robbery in 2022 and of robbing victims of earphones in 2020. So, quite a colourful profile there. I'm going to end this here. Before the facts of this case became clear, we had local German media running with the story that it was a likely far-right attack. This is highly irresponsible, and obviously that's what I wanted to bring up, so I'm going to bring this up here. This is bizarre. This is from Henry Bolton. The queer community naturally feels threatened, above all, by far-right forces. You've literally just been a subject of a terrorist attack, Henry says. Some people are in complete denial. It's not just that. I've seen other media outlets in Germany in the early hours after this attack first happened, and they were saying this is the far right. The far right did this. The far right is responsible for this. No, they weren't. I think they looked over what was happening in Scotland, where the legacy media and press have been billing the unrest in Scotland as perpetrated by far right. And they thought, right, we can jump on that over here, and we can get a few headlines, we can get a few news stories out of it, but before we admit the truth, which is it was Islamists, this imports the diaspora that we cannot deport. They were responsible, and they'll put a retraction out, but it sows the seed in the head, it creates the doubts in the head that all may not be as it seems, when to me it's clear cut. Certain countries on the continent have a integration law, such as Denmark, meaning if you aren't assimilated or you aren't integrated, you can be deported. Larger countries, such as Britain and Germany, do not have this distinction. As soon as you get a British passport or a German passport, it's basically impossible to deport you whilst in the ECHR. We've got people like Henry Bolton, Restore Britain, and they're talking about this integration test of deporting second and third generation migrants from the United Kingdom when they clearly hate us and they don't want to integrate. They're looking to turn Britain into something it isn't. This is what we all should be talking about. It's getting rid of the legal framework that enables these people to stay and making them leave voluntarily or forcing them to leave. The legacy media is always going to hate us. They're always going to build everything and anything that the right of centre does as far right. It's better to tune them out, do our own thing, design policy, and make sure we're ready to implement it when the time comes. I'm sick of these Islamists attacking Europeans. I very much appreciate your time. If you think I'm onto something, making me aware, like and subscribe, do all of that great stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. You have a good day.